From a Geek Squad perspective, what challenges does mobile present? I'm thinking of things like disposable hardware, locked devices, that kind of thing.
Well, we kind of represent all the, represent all the consumers that aren't going to come to conferences like this.
Sure.
There'll be kind of like two sets of Maker and Android products. There'll be the DIY stuff that you self-assemble, like MakerBot.
Yep.
And then, at some point, some of those companies will go on to commercialize, simplify, and kind of pre-assemble products. And that's what I'm keeping my eye out for, because, there's a whole host of products in Best Buy that are going to go away, like DVDs,
yep,
CDs, cordless phones, and I'd like to see those replaced with MakerBots, Arduino, and home automation products that you can kind of add. What I like about home automation versus home theater is you can start with one light switch, one outlet. So I'm watching, the Android communities where I'm expecting some of those products to first emerge.
And do you see that that community will gain widespread adoption, or do you think that it's going to be pockets of enthusiasts?
It'll be like anything else, it always starts with the hobbyists, just like the Heath kits of the 1970s. That's what's so exciting about this, because we've had home automation for 10 years now, 802.16, Zigbee, Control 4, and where the developer conferences. I went to CES the last 3 years, same set of products,
right,
same doorbells and light switches. It's these hackers that are going to start with the hobbyists, get a community like the makers, and then eventually there'll be software apps, and then a few of them will graduate onto like more consumer level products that you'll see like at a Best Buy.
So the accessory development kit, do you anticipate that that's going to really open up a wave of innovation in that space with the hackers and the makers?
I hope so. What's neat about Arduino is that it kind of bridges the world. There's enough to get started. It's like GitHub, from a software standpoint. Sure. You can start with code. All you need is an idea to sketch it on a napkin. So I'd like to see companies like Intel. I would like to see Intel be like the godfather of Arduino, where they sponsor conferences, help fund it. Not unlike the sponsors like O'Reilly gets for their events, because the more people find out about it, the more it will draw in, and then the more products that will evolve.
Interesting. So last question for you, and expanding this a little bit. We hear how design separates companies, right? But is customer service actually the big differentiator? Is that the thing that companies should be focusing on?
Both. Design comes first. If you design your product really well, you don't need a lot of tech support. The only reason Geek Squad exists is because, of less than optimal design. You can look at it that way. It's not just that. We actually do a ton of work in Silicon Valley because time is valuable for people. But I think design should always come first. And then if you do it really well, it's kind of like, I love what Steve Jobs always said, if you see a tablet and it has a stylus, somebody failed.
Sure.
And I would like to go even further. If your product requires an instruction manual, you already made it too hard to use.
Interesting. Well, thanks so much for being with us. Really
thank you.
We'll be back in a moment with more live interviews here from Android Open. Please stay with us.